Great love, great respect. I want to welcome all of you to Heendu Learning Center for a weekly meditation and class, so to speak, because here we teach you how to conduct your self in terms of spiritual awareness, understanding why you're here, where you come from, where you're going, and so on. And also how to control that energy of the universe that can become harmonious with yourself. We teach the meditation of prana, which controls the air and the movement of the air within the body. And so we have to do that kind of meditation that will control the energy, that controls all the energy around us. So air is called the prana, or the life force. Today we're going, it's July 4th tomorrow, so the weekend of freedom. So I want to talk about freedom and being independent, and if there's such a thing as freedom and independence in the universe. And also, we'll look at some of the hurricanes coming up and see what's going to happen in the coming month, 2012, weather and so on, what's going to happen to the world. Everybody's familiar with Nostradamus. You know, Nostradamus was a man in the West who had a lot of ability to predict the future. In fact, he technically predicted the World Trade Center to me. And he predicted the world up to 2012, I think, or 2002. After that, he didn't make no other predictions. His last prediction was up to 2002, I guess. And of course, the Pope, this Pope that he predicted would be the last Pope. So he predicted that. But Nostradamus had a big problem. Nostradamus had a problem where, for him to write his writings, he had to hide underground. He was being persecuted all the time by the Renaissance and so on, by the king and some of the high priests and so on. So they would try to hunt him down. You saw the movie of Nostradamus. They try to hunt him and they'll try to kill him. But for what reason? Because he made these predictions and he had such a great knowledge. And if you look at the movie, you remember he was branded as a witch. And the reason why he was branded as a witch was because he had these books that had contained symbolic language, which was Arabic in nature. Arabic and Sanskrit, which was these languages. And when the king's subjects and king people in the West, in the European, saw that, they said he was a witch because of this kind of writing he had. Right? And so they prosecuted him a lot, and after that, anything that had Hindu writings or any Arabic writings, and so were considered a crime to have. And so what happened now is, because of all that persecution, a lot of the knowledge that Nostradamus had was destroyed. And so the West went backward in that sense. Now, while all this was happening to Nostradamus, in India, they were spreading knowledge. And they were teaching people how to live freely, to live with any religion you want, anything you believe in. And so they made hundreds of religions. But the main connection was that they were spiritual. And they were people appreciated the universe. People got learn all the music and the songs and everything. And you see, if you look at Sarvanam and his family, they all have some musical instrument in front of them right now. This was the typical family structure, that the children would learn music from the time they were young. And this way they wouldn't become idle. They don't know what to do. Today the children are very mischievous, bored, and they are not loved and so on a lot because there is no family structure. And because there is no family structure, the kids do not have any skills these days. They don't have any skills because when they're young, they're not taught these skills. And so knowledge was flourishing in India, and some of the Eastern countries, while knowledge was being hidden in Europe and the West, because it was a crime to have a lot of knowledge, right? And so that's what took away the freedom of the people during the Renaissance. And so the Pope said, this is my part, that's your part. And the Spanish Inquisition controlled the whole West and so on. And meanwhile the East was still developing knowledge. So that's why in the West things didn't progress as fast spiritually as it should have been. Here everything was into ownership, money, power, everything. While over there it was all about who knew the most, who was the most person with the most knowledge, and so on. So that's where freedom comes from. Now today, what do you notice? They're fighting for freedom now. Every country in the Middle East now is fighting for freedom. Right? The same freedom that America fought for when they got their independence. Freedom to do what? Freedom to choose what you want, to do what you want without anybody telling you what to do, or anybody controlling your life. Right? So, in that sense, today, 2012, now which is coming to the end of the age and so on, you will see a lot more of countries getting free, becoming free and so on. And then knowledge is now easy to get. All you have to do is go to Facebook or go to one of those internet sites, and everybody gets knowledge. So as knowledge flows more freely now, more and more people are realizing that really they have not been free. That what freedom is really knowledge. So now they're fighting for that. People are fighting, and that's what's going to be the essence of the new century coming, is that we're going to be free. They can know more about themselves. So like I said last week, when somebody comes to see me, the reason is because they want to be free. Right? Well, free from what? It depends on what's happening to their life at that moment. They can be free from their own self, because they're confined by their own self. Or they can be free from love. They're confined by love. Right? You know, we imprison ourselves. We imprison ourselves when we confine ourselves the things that we can control in our mind, but we're not controlling. For example, a lady comes to me and she says, well, when is he going to come back? Is he going to come back in my life? He's going to come back in my life. Is this guy going to come back? Right? And she suddenly imprisoned herself with that. And then I tell her, I says, you know, why don't you just go about your life, and then he will come, such and such a time. And guess what happened now? She's free. Because Swami told her that the guy is going to come in 1 year. So because Swami told the guy to come here, now she's no longer imprisoned in her mind. Now she's free now, she can go and do something. Right? someone comes and they're worried about if their son is going to study in college, or he's going to take drugs, or he's going to become a bad son. And then they come and they sit down and I tell them what's going to happen, that the son is going to take the college, he's going to pass his college, he's going to graduate, he's going to become a doctor or whatever it is. And suddenly, she's free. Oh boy, nothing beats that freedom. It's so nice to be free in your mind. Right? Someone says, well, when am I going to find the guy? Am I going to find the guy soon? Am I going to have to wait? Or maybe I'll never find the guy. Okay? So Swami comes along, he tells him, so listen, don't worry, you're going to get married in 1 year. Oh, the joy in her mind, the freedom in her mind, right, is so powerful now that she stops distressing, stops worrying, she starts dressing up nice, preparing for when the guy's going to come, and so on, and she feels free, you know. Someone says, well, okay, I'm going to, Swami, is this job I'm going to lose this job? I definitely had cases like that this year. One guy came and he says, Swami, this company is closing down and they're moving to India. So he told me that like about 6 months ago. So I said, yes, they're moving to India, but they're not moving in right now. They're going to move in 1 year. So he was relieved. He had time. Because when he heard the company is moving, he's wondering, is the company going to move in 2 months, in 3 months? What's going to happen to my job? And then he comes to Swami, and Swami tells him, don't worry, the company is not moving until 15 months from now. And all of a sudden, he's relieved. He has time. Right? So, as you can see, the freedom that we are seeking is not from out there. It's not from people. The freedom that we are seeking is from ourselves. And so, it's the mind. Because, someone comes and says, Swami, I just can't go shopping anytime I want. I said, why? Well, because my husband doesn't want me to go shopping every day except Thursday. So she's confined by that. Right? So I said to her, how did you come see me? Because your husband didn't want to come see you to come see you. She said, I had to hide and come see you. I had to tell him that I was going somewhere else. He said, why didn't you do that all the time? Right? Because it's all in the mind. Because she's afraid. Why she's afraid? Because she's afraid that if she tells her husband that she's going to come see the Swami, the husband is going to get mad, he's going to start fighting, and then they're going to have to divorce and leave and everything. So she's afraid that he's going to leave her because he comes to the Swami.